nous nous engageons à vous offrir le meilleur. Pour vous, nous ne cesserons jamais d'innover pour toujours mieux vous servir.
Wherever you go, no matter what the weather always brings to you, always bring sunshine. This is my motivating quotation for tonight. Welcome and good evening, dear televiewers. Now, let's have the summary. In politics and cooperation, Prime Minister José Cristiano Sounkara Ponda was the representative of Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ondimba at the 35th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government. Good news for the continent as the African Leaders for Nutrition Initiative House at the African Development Bank has been honored by the African Union for the progress made. Also, the Lions of Teranga were victorious against the Pharaohs of Egypt this 6th February during the final of the AFCON 2021 edition in Yaoundé at the Olympic Stadium. To talk about this, we receive on stage our sports lady, Maria Batista Bina. We have more for you after the transition. Once more, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We open with politics as Gabonese Prime Minister José Cristiano Sounkara Ponda represented Ali Bongo Ondimba at the 35th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government this February 5th. Maria Batista Bina reports.
On the behalf of the head of state, the Prime Minister emphasized the need to continue to make progress in the implementation of functional mechanisms for the prevention and peaceful settlement of disputes, emphasizing that the African Union Agenda 2063 prioritizes the continent's stability. Gabon's commitment to fully utilize its chairmanship of the United Nations Standing Advisory Committee on Security Issues in Central Africa, membership in the United Nations Human Rights Council, and status as non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the period of 2022-2023 was also reaffirmed. The handover between Félix Tshisekedi, an outgoing chairperson of the African Union, and Macky Sall, who will chair the Continental Organization for a year, marked the first day of the 35th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly. This year, the African Union will focus on improving the African continent's nutritional and food security resilience, which will necessitate the consolidation of its agri-food, health, and social protection system in order to accelerate the development of its human, social, and economic capital.
In the same line, but this time more of cooperation, the ambassador of the Rainbow Nation, Queen Anne Zondo, was this day at the Prime Minister's office for an audience to bid farewell to the head of government, José Cristiano Sounkara Ponda. For more details, we listen to Thibaut Tungutabaga.
It was through an audience that the Prime Minister, head of government, José Cristiano Sounkara Ponda, received the ambassador of South Africa, Queen Anne Zondo, this Monday in the premises of her office. The South African diplomat came to wish farewell to the Gabonese head of government. A final meeting which allowed, in addition to the farewells to the Prime Minister and her host, to review the main areas of bilateral cooperation in good shape.
It was to say goodbye and also to say a big thanks for the warm welcome that was greeted to me by the Gabonese government and by the Gabonese people too.
Queen Anne Zondo, who has come to the end of her stay in Gabon, looked back on how fruitful it was and rejoiced following the achievements to her credit.
We were able to accomplish several things in the field of education. For example, the presence of many Gabonese students in South Africa who study English. We also did several things for women, which was really my focus. Women's rights, women education, women in business. I had several meetings with the minister in this context. We were also able to celebrate the South African icons.
Note that the South African diplomat Queen Anne Zondo leaves the Gabonese Republic after a rich and inspiring 4-year stay in Gabon.
Now, let's talk about the African Leaders for Nutrition initiative housed at the African Development Bank, which has been honored by the African Union for progress made towards advancing investments in nutrition across the continent. Let's watch.
At the conclusion of the 35th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly on the 6th February, an African Union summary decision commended the African Leaders for Nutrition initiative in sustaining nutrition advocacy in the effort to ensure member states commit adequate financial resources to nutrition interventions. The African Leaders for Nutrition initiative is a platform for high-level political engagement to advance nutrition in Africa, led by current and former heads of state, finance ministers, and eminent leaders. The decision comes as the Assembly session declared 2022 the African Union Year of Nutrition, and as Bank President Dr. Akinwumi A. Adesina stressed the importance of advancing nutrition during his address to assembled heads of state.
The recognition of the African Leaders for Nutrition's effort comes as the initiative leverage visibility the African Union Year of Nutrition. The declaration brings the fight to end malnutrition and increase food security in Africa.
African Leaders for Nutrition is advocating 3 goals for the Year of Nutrition, starting with securing investments to implement a nutrition action plan that reduces malnutrition across the continent. The second goal is to identify cost-effective interventions worth implementing. The third is to promote accountability as African Union member states aim to meet World Health Assembly and United Nations Sustainable Development Goal nutrition targets.
Now, sports news and the object of our debate tonight. At the end of a suspenseful final, Senegal, the Lions of the Teranga, won the first African Cup of Nations in its history this February 6th against Egypt. The Lions of Teranga are no longer cursed in the competition, and their ranks, the joy is at the flowing of this victory. We listen to John Cyril on the Mungu, then we will be back for the debate here and set as announced with our sports lady, Maria Batista Bina. Let's take a look.
Senegal is at the top of Africa. After 2 failures in the final in 2002 and 2019, the Senegalese selection finally opened its record in this competition that was often cruel. Egypt has not found the formula to prevent the Lions of Teranga to finally put their claws on this cup they have so coveted. At the Olympic Stadium in Yaoundé, largely devoted to its cause, Senegal became the 15th country to engrave its name in the list of AFCON winners. And after the victory in the penalty shootout, the Lions were full of joy as they paraded in front of the journalists, singing at the top of their voices and dancing as if they had not fought a battle for more than 120 minutes. No doubt the effect of a draw called winner of the AFCON 2021. Edouard Mendy, best goalkeeper of this AFCON, wants to thank the technical staff who worked a lot on the shooters of the Egyptian side. Sadio Mane, voted best player of this continental tournament, was inescapable in this final. He first missed a penalty before later converting the winning penalty quick. The Liverpool player testified about the group spirit that carried him to the end. Him and his teammates can finally present themselves as experts in the field. The trophy in their hands and the gold medal around their necks are there to remind us they are the new master of African soccer.
Maria Batista Bina, good evening.
Good evening, Eva MBALLA. How are you?
Fine, thank you. The Senegalese champions of Africa, what are your impressions?
Finally, the only word that came out from this victory is finally, after 33rd edition, the African Cup of Nations, they have finally won, because remember, it's been like the third time they reached the final.
Yes.
Now the one, the continent is happy, the president is happy, Africa is happy.
What do you think about Sadio Mane's performances yesterday?
It was very great. He gave the whole he had in his stomach to win this competition. And today, we are the African continent is most proud.
Yes.
Because we didn't expect Senegal to win, because you know that Egypt won the cup
two last AFCONs,
like 7 times. So it was a big match for them. So the challenge was great, but they did the best. And now you see the result.
A match which went under a lot of tension after Sadio Mane missed the first penalty at the 6th minute of the match. Did you feel discouraged as a telespectator?
No, because Africa had a lot of expectation. It was a lot of tension because, you know, Sadio Mane played with
Mohamed Salah.
So both of them, they know each other. So the pressure was high, but he managed to win this competition, and it's very, very great from him.
Okay, the public holiday was declared today in Senegal. The Senegalese footballers, the Lions of Teranga, reached the country under an outstanding welcoming from the President Macky Sall. This is honorific for the country.
Yes, of course. I guess even the president, he didn't expect this victory from the country, because there was a lot of disappointment from the past experiences. But now even the president, he was shocked, and he even canceled his meeting with the Comoros. So
what do you think about the AFCON generally? A lot of stigmatization, a lot of criticisms on the Cameroonian side, on the Cameroonian authorities, the management of the stadium. The stadiums themselves were a lot criticized. What do you think, Maria Batista?
You know, it's never easy to organize something. What man does is not always perfect, but I guess Cameroon did the best to organize, and we can say there was a lot of challenges, but they did the best to bring this camp to this AFCON to the end. So it was not easy for them, but they managed.
Globally, and insights about the competition, about the teams. Who were your favorite teams during this AFCON? I think you said the Panthers of Gabon.
You know already the answer, but we hope next time we will reach the end of this competition.
And what is your feeling about the performance of your best team, the Panthers? What is your feeling?
They did the best, but we're hoping more for the upcoming years. We hope that one day it will be us to take the cup.
Yeah.
And why not celebrate as Senegal today?
Okay. So now, finally, let me ask you about the players. Vincent Aboubakar from Cameroon was the best scorer during this competition. 7 goals. Maria Batista, your feeling about even the match Cameroon against Egypt?
He deserved this title, because his performance during this competition was very high. So we congratulate him for that, and we hope that the best for him for the future.
Another person who was also very remarkable this AFCON was the goalkeeper of the Egyptians. What do you think about him?
This guy
Gabaski.
amazed me. He was very great, this guy. I love this performance, and he deserved this title at the end of the competition.
Match,
even if he was very disappointed, because he expected to win, unfortunately, but we hope that they are still champion, even if they lose this time, but they are still the champion of Africa. 7 times, it's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot. And people even said it was too much.
Yes.
Another country needs to win. Any perspectives for the AFCON 2023 in Abidjan? Do you have anything to say about this?
But we are happy to go to Côte d'Ivoire in 2023. So we hope that the game will be very high as this one.
This AFCON, yes.
The expectation was high. The organization was there. So we are very hopeful for Côte d'Ivoire to make the challenges even
higher.
Yes.
So I think we can end these exchanges because of you who said your best team was the Panthers with the hashtag who was the most virulent during this competition. Bupenza n'était pas hors jeu. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this news edition, but first let's review the summary. We saw in politics that the Prime Minister Rose Christian Osuka Raponda represented the Gabonese head of state Ali Bongo Ondimba at the 35th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly of Heads of States and Governments. Equally good news for the African continent as the African Leaders for Nutrition Initiative, held by the African Development Bank, has been honored by the African Union for making progress. Finally, here on set, we received Maria Batista Bina to talk about the victory of Senegal against the Pharaohs of Egypt this 6th February during the final of the AFCON 2021 edition. We thank Maria Batista for being here on set with us. Ladies and gentlemen, keep watching G24 and our social medias. Keep following us. Information is there non-stop. Stay tuned for the news in French by the majestic host Gaia Mapesi. Special thanks to the team led by the news director Richard Sangoma. Till next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.